Parlays and player props. Week 2, the NFL season is here today. I got 4 player props, 1 moneyline parlay coming in at plus 763 odds, all for Sunday in the NFL. Let's dominate. My name's Austin from Calling Our Shot. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe and drop a like. Let's bring out the brooms today with a 4-0 sweep of the props. But either way, we have 2 other NFL videos that will be live on the channel by Sunday. We'll have one that's already been posted, our NFL spread picks. Go check out that. We got, I think, a team total and 2 spread picks in there. And then number 2, on Saturday night, we are going to post our second edition of our trying to turn $10 into over $1,000 on one NFL Sunday. Last week, I feel like my parlay had a chance, just didn't get that value we needed. This weekend, I love my parlay. I think it's smacking. It'll include a couple of the guys I'm talking about today, but I won't spoil it. That video will be live at about 5 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday evening. Might be live by the time you're watching this video, but either way, let's dive into our favorite picks. One of my favorite one is actually on Sleeper, which I have a free square for Sunday night football with Tyreek Hill to just get 1 receiving yard. He's going to do that. You can also get a 100% deposit match using our code COS or the top link in description, up to $100. So take advantage of it. Get that deposit match. Use our code COS or the link in description. 100% deposit match. You get $100 for free if you deposit 100. You get $50 for free if you deposit 50. You know the word. You know how to do a little bit of math. Check it out. All the details down below. Use that Tyreek Hill free square. But let's dive in. We have a 1.5 unit play. My favorite prop of the weekend is going to be this guy, Kenneth Walker III, over 13.5 rushing attempts, minus 130 on FanDuel. Now, honestly, at this line, I thought was going to be 14.5, and I was going to play that for 1.5 units as well. I'll take the discount at 13.5. I would still play 14.5 at 1.5 units. I think this is a smash spot for Kenneth Walker. He's my favorite prop of the year, and I don't do a ton of 1.5 unit plays, especially this early on in the year, but I really like this one, and I love him on Sunday against the Lions. Now, I'll give you a spoiler alert. I just kind of I did a promo for the $10 to 1,000 parlay video. One of my legs will be Kenneth Walker III, 100 plus rushing yards. That's going to be in there's like plus 475, and I think it's got a good chance. But either way, I don't really care. I hope he gets 100 plus rushing yards, but I need him to get at least 14 rush attempts, hopefully 15. And in week 1, anything that could have gone wrong for the Seahawks did go wrong because they lost 30-13. However, we still saw him have 12 rush attempts for 64 yards. He handled 63% of the snaps, despite being down a lot of the game, and he had 12 of the 17 running back carries. Now, behind him on the depth chart, you got Zach Charbonnet and DJ Dallas. Now, DJ Dallas is a pass-catching back. He's not going to take a lot of carries. And Charbonnet, I think that's how you pronounce his name, is a rookie. We've seen with rookie running backs, it's very reluctant to give a guy a full workload. We saw that with Jahmyr Gibbs with the Lions, who they will see on Sunday. We also saw that with Kenneth Walker III last year. Pete Carroll didn't really give him a ton of touches. Obviously, he had, I think that was his hernia surgery in the preseason of last year, but still, they were reluctant to give it to him unless they basically were forced to with injuries. And we saw last week, the Seahawks defense couldn't do anything right. Like I said, anything that could have gone wrong did go wrong. They had let the Rams hold the ball for 40 of 60 potential minutes. That 40 minutes of time of possession is ridiculous. They ran 78 plays compared to just 46 for the Seahawks. And the Seattle was just 2 for 9 on third down, so they weren't continuing drives. Obviously, if they can continue drives more often than not, you're going to see Kenneth Walker III get those carries on first, maybe even second down if he's running the ball well. And I just think that this line is too low for Kenneth Walker on Sunday. I think the line should honestly be 15.5 or 16.5. And we saw last week when the Lions took on the Chiefs, obviously that big time win for them. Pacheco and CEH, they ran the ball 14 times, which still would have cashed this over. But the Chiefs, we know, are a very pass-heavy offense. We know Pete Carroll loves to run the football, and I really like Kenneth Walker here on Sunday. Last year, when we saw Walker play 50% or more of the snaps, which he did easily in week 1, which he did 11 times last year. He had 14 plus rush attempts in 8 of 11 games, more often than not getting the 14.5 line, hitting that too. We saw last year versus Detroit, Seattle had a ton of success on the ground, ran the ball 26 times. As we saw Rashad Penny, who's now an Eagle, he had 151 rushing yards on 17 carries, and Kenneth Walker III also had 8 carries. So look, at the end of the day, I wouldn't be surprised if Seattle is potentially winning this game, or at least in this game, and it's close where they can run in not only the first quarter, but also the fourth quarter. I like Kenneth Walker III, my favorite prop of the week, 1.5 units. Normally, units is a bankroll management term. It's normally about 1% of your bankroll. This one will put 1.5% of our bankroll. So maybe if you're $100 better, I'm recommending 150. I really like Kenneth Walker III. Go get it done, K9. Now, my next pick will actually be a rookie running back. We kind of talked about just rookie running backs a second ago. This one's going to be arguably the biggest name rookie running back there is. It's Mr. Bijan Robinson of the Atlanta Falcons, over 2.5 receptions, minus 115 on Bet365. Now, I'm pretty aware this is going to be a pretty popular play, and honestly, I think the line should be 3.5, but I understand why it's 2.5. We'll talk about that in a second. It would be a 1.5 unit play if there weren't for a couple things. Number one, if Bijan was not a rookie running back, it's hard to obviously trust these guys. It's a rookie. He's still in the timeshare with Tyler Algier. And number two, the reason I think the line's 2.5 is that Cordero Patterson, who missed week 1, probably scheduled to be back here. So I'm just going to stick to 1 unit at minus 115. I'd play it up to about minus 145. I wouldn't personally touch 3.5 unless you want to for a half unit if it goes there. But in week one, Bijan, a great start and great debut to his NFL career. He had played 65% of the snaps, so a lot of workload, 19 routes ran, saw 6 targets, and had 6 receptions. He crushed this line. Now, I doubt he gets 6 receptions on Sunday, but he still is a great pass catching back. And after his first touchdown, which if you didn't watch it, just go type in Bijan Robinson touchdown. I should come up because the man broke like 3 tackles, split some guys. It was ridiculous. I imagine the Falcons want to find more ways to get the ball in this guy's hands, and that's what they were doing all last week. And Desmond Ridder, the Falcons QB, is not really a guy that tries to stretch the field. He's a guy that's comfortable taking those dump offs, and hey, that's where Mr. Bijan's going to be, and that's where Tyler Algier even had 3 receptions himself last week. So, look, even Cordero Patterson will come in. He'll take some touches, but at the end of the day, we saw Ridder all last year. He was targeting running backs a lot. I don't see that really changing against the Packers on Sunday. We saw last week the Packers allowed the following reception numbers to running backs: Roschon Johnson, 6 of them, 3 to Khalil Herbert, and then I believe 2 to Deontay Foreman. So at the end of the day, look, they were leaving them wide open, and Justin Fields was taking advantage of those dump offs. Now, obviously, Johnson got a lot of that in garbage time, but there could be some garbage time here. And either way, I think Bijan will find a way to get 3 receptions. I don't care if he gets tackled it's a screen play and he gets tackled for minus 5 yards. We don't care about that. We just need 3 receptions, and I think he certainly can get that. I know it's a popular one, but Bijan, we're rolling with you, man. Get it done. Now, my third play will be the guy that will be featured on the thumbnail. It's going to be a guy that's also going to be in our long shot parlay, which go check out that video at the end of this one. Lamar Jackson, over 43.5 rushing yards, minus 110 on BetMGM. Now, personally, I'd play this about to 46.5. I'm projecting a big time game for Lamar Jackson on Sunday against the Bengals. Now, obviously, this is the Ravens rushing attack that it has changed now that they have a new offensive coordinator, but pretty depleted. Already lost J.K. Dobbins, their star running back. He's gone for the whole year. Now they're relying on Gus Edwards, Justice Hill, Melvin Gordon. Not a great crew. Gus Edwards obviously is pretty decent. He's just running right up the middle, though. There's not really a lot of wiggles to that guy. He's going north and south, which is something which you want to see, but also that's good for Lamar Jackson if he ever wants to do some read option stuff. If they bite on Gus Edwards, we know Lamar is capable of going out there and getting those rushing yards, and I think that we could see the Ravens trailing in this game. The Bengals obviously coming off a terrible game last week. Joe Burrow, worst game of his career. They should play better, and they have played better versus Baltimore, especially Joe Burrow. And we saw last week, and when the Ravens were dominating, we saw the Ravens win 25-9. Lamar Jackson led the team, but 6 carries for 38 yards. So did still get pretty close to this line in a game that he did not need to run. But I expect them to run a little bit more here in this game. We saw in that one, Edwards, Dobbins, and Hill, all 8 carries each. Look, if they rush the ball 24 times with guys not named Lamar Jackson, that would be unheard of. I don't see that happening on Sunday. We've seen Lamar do really well in the rushing attack against the Bengals his last 7 games versus Cincinnati. Look at these numbers: 58, 88, 97, 3, 65, 132, and 119 rushing yards versus the Bengals in his last 7 games. I expect the proven success to be there. Lamar, we know how athletic he is. He can go out there, he can break a tackle, he can break one off and get this over in just one play, but I think we'll have plenty of opportunities. Mark Andrews also should be returning for this passing attack, which now is Zay Flowers. They have Odell Beckham Jr., Mark Andrews. They got some passing attacks out there, some passing options for Lamar Jackson. So I don't see the Bengals necessarily loading up in the box. Lamar should have his places to go. And also, we've seen when he plays the AFC North in these big-time divisional games, Lamar Jackson runs the football. Last 18 games versus AFC North teams, we're talking about the Steelers, Browns, and Bengals. You've seen Lamar Jackson 45-plus rushing yards in 16 of them and 60-plus in 12 of those 18. So, look, he's running the ball big time in those divisional games. He's taking advantage. He's not giving it to someone else. He's saying, you know what, I got to put the team on my back, and I think he does just that. We'll take his over in rushing yards for our third play of the day. Also, Deshaun Watson last week, 45 rushing yards versus the Bengals. Obviously, we know Lamar Jackson a little bit better rushing the ball than Deshaun Watson. So we're riding with Lamar to keep it close on the ground. Now, my fourth and final prop of the day, before we get into our money line parlay, which you're all waiting for, it's going to be Christian Kirk, over 40.5 receiving yards, minus 115 on BetMGM. Personally, I play this right around 44.5. We know how sharp lines can be. The line could end. He could end with 41, 42, 43. It could happen. We see that all the time. A lot props have sharp lines. That's why Vegas looks like Vegas. They have these sharp lines. But I still do like Christian Kirk on Sunday, and I hope he absolutely crushes this line for everyone. But in week 1, we saw Kirk struggled with his new role. No way around it. I mean, the man struggled versus the new role and the Colts zone defense. Only 1 reception, 3 targets for 9 yards. Now, it's worth noting only one of those 3 targets was catchable, which obviously, if they're not catchable, doesn't matter if he gets 150 targets. He's not going to catch them if he physically can't. But we saw last week, Ridley obviously came in here, and he dominated a lot of the touches. I think 8 receptions for 101 yards. Zay Jones, 55 yards himself, and Evan Ingram, 49. They actually had to go to a lot of 2 tight end looks, which is why you saw Kirk not play necessarily all the snaps that we had been seeing him play all of last year. Still played well above 60%, though. We saw Doug Peterson, the head coach of the Jags. He talked about Kirk had to struggle a little bit with that zone defense that the Colts ran, and that's not Kirk's specialty, according to Doug Peterson. He said that's against man, which the Chiefs are a very man-heavy defense, and so we should expect Kirk to bounce back here today, and I just expect them to get the ball more to him. You obviously, wide receivers can say what you want. Sometimes it can be a little bit of a diva. We saw AJ Brown and harassing Jalen Hurts on Thursday Night Football. Look, everyone wants to get the football, and I expect the guys that don't do really well one week that are known to do well, they normally get the ball the next week, and I expect Kirk to do that. And last year, he did well against the Chiefs in their man defense. He played them twice, once in the regular season, once in the postseason. Kirk, 7 receptions for 52 yards in the playoffs, 9 for 105 in the regular season. This is a game with a high total. We know the Chiefs are a pass-heavy offense that are going to try to score a lot of points. We could see the Jags having to play from behind and have to score some points to keep up with them. Look, Kirk also played really well last year. Look, he didn't. I won't say he earned his contract, but he didn't make his contract look as bad as it did when the Jags originally signed him. He hit the over in 12 of 17 games. He hit the over in 6 of 8 at home, with one of the misses ending on the hook with 40. So the guy played really well at home. I think he gets the targets, the receptions here. I think he has a great matchup. Calvin Ridley will take a lot of defensive focus away from Christian Kirk versus the matchup he's already done well against. So we're riding with Kirk as our 4th player prop of the day. I really like Christian Kirk on Sunday. Give me his over 40.5 receiving yards as our 4th and final prop of the week. But of course, we'll have some Monday night props, though. Don't worry about that. It is time for what you've all been waiting for. The money line parlay is here. We didn't do it last week. We were just kind of getting our feet wet. You guys love it, and you guys have been asking for it in the comments. So I'm going to deliver 4-leg money line parlay. All these teams to win outright. That's all we need. But first, I got to say, reminder, Sleeper has that free square for Sunday Night Football. Take advantage of it. All he needs is 1 yard, and you can use our code COS. It's free money. You get 100% deposit match up to $100. Take advantage of it. But now, paid promo. Let's dive into our money line parlay. 4 teams plus 763. Here they are. Bills, Bears, Titans, and 49ers. I'll break them down real quick. Bills, if they lose the loss to the Raiders, a lot of people are going to be paying. They're going to be in almost every money line parlay, but I think they bounce back after losing to the Jets. Bears money line, going for a little bit of underdog value here. I mean, I just don't think the Buccaneers are worthy of being minus 160 on the money line. I'll take a stab at the Bears, who obviously didn't look good last week. I expect Justin Fields to be a little bit better this year, and I think the Bears will be a better team than the Bucs. They'll probably be about even on the season. I'll take my shot at the Bears to avoid going to 0-2. Next up, Titans money line. I'll give you a spoiler. One of our spread picks is Titans plus 3. I said keep the points. I'll take the Titans on the money line. I think they have a chance of beating the Chargers. Chargers, obviously, probably down Austin Eckler. A lot of people would have the Chargers in their parlays. I could see the Titans squeaking that one out. And the 49ers versus the Rams. Rams obviously still down Cooper Kupp. And after a big game against the Seahawks, the 49ers are just so dominant. I think the 49ers come out there and get that win. So plus 763. Put a little sprinkle on. Don't put like a full unit, but we're having some fun here. Some money line parlay, baby. Those are our favorite player props of the day. That's our 4-leg money line parlay. Let's absolutely dominate on Sunday. Like I said, 2 picks, 2 videos on the screen. One will be our NFL spread picks video. I already gave you one of the picks, Titans plus 3. Go check out the other 2. You don't want to miss it. Number 2 will be our $10 to win 1,000 NFL Week 2 parlay. Go check it out once the video is live. We appreciate you guys as always for tuning in. My name is Austin. I'm signing out. I'll see you guys back again next week, hopefully with the brooms out. I'll see you guys then. Peace.